Hello friends, welcome back to Greta's Travels and welcome to a new China video. This video is all about how to plan the perfect trip to the Great Wall of China, one of the 7 wonders of the world, and one of my personal favorite things we saw during my China trip. So let's go! The Great Wall of China actually started off as a series of smaller walls, watchtowers and fortifications that were built to protect the northern Chinese border from nomadic groups from the Eurasian steppe. King Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, joined some of these wall stretches and started the official construction of the Great Wall. Many successive dynasties have built it, maintained it and expanded it, and it took over 2,000 years for it to reach the 20,000 kilometers of Great Wall that we can see today. If you're deciding when to visit the Great Wall of China, there are a few things you should take into account, both in terms of time of year and time of day. In terms of best time of year, the Great Wall of China isn't going anywhere. It's a year-round attraction that you could in theory visit any month you want. However, there are times when I think it looks more impressive than others. For example, we visited at the end of March, early May, and while the Great Wall of China was absolutely incredible, I found that the grey bricks of the wall blended in with the grey of the dead spring trees. So, especially for people like me with poor eyesight, if you visit in early spring when the trees are bare, the view of the wall in the distance blends in with the landscape. Whilst I've seen videos of the Great Wall in summer or in autumn, where the grey wall creates a strong contrast with the lush green or bright red vegetation, making it even more impressive. I've also seen really cool videos of the Great Wall of China in winter, where it's completely surrounded by snow, but obviously you have to be careful because it gets quite icy and it can be slippery. Basically, while you could visit the Great Wall of China any time of year, personally I would suggest summer or autumn, so that you can see the Great Wall as it stands out more from its green or red surroundings. In terms of time of day, I always suggest visiting as early as possible so that you can beat the crowds of day trippers from Beijing and enjoy the Great Wall of China without too many people. This is if you're visiting on one of the popular sections. If you're visiting a wild section or one of the less popular ones, you can probably go any time of day and even enjoy an amazing sunset. And this leads us on to what section of the Great Wall of China you should visit. The Great Wall of China, like we said, is over 20,000 kilometers long, so there are plenty of sections to choose from. There isn't one single best section. You need to pick the one that suits your travel style, your travel budget, and just overall better suits your experience. And these are the things I would take into account when planning what section of the Great Wall to visit. The most important factor is getting there. Badaling is the most popular section of the Great Wall of China, as it can be easily reached from Beijing with a 30-minute train. However, this also makes it the most crowded. There are other sections, for example Mutianyu, which also aren't far from Beijing, anywhere between a 1 to 2 hour drive, but since there's no trains, it will cost you a bit more to get there, since you will have to book a taxi. You also need to decide if you want to see a wild section of the wall or a restored one. The restored sections have been restored to look how the Great Wall would have looked back in the day, whilst the wild ones are left to their own devices and obviously look more worn down, although some would say more authentic. There's no right or wrong answer here, it just depends on your personal preference. For our China trip, we picked Mutianyu, and here is why. Since it's a bit further away from Beijing, we figured it wouldn't be as busy, especially since we were visiting during the Qingming festival, so there was loads of people in Beijing on the previous day. We also wanted to visit a restored section that would have some basic services and amenities in place, as well as being easier to walk along compared to the wilder ones. I personally found it very well organized. When you arrive at the main gate, you just scan your ticket, there are shuttle buses that take you to the base of the wall, and from there you then take the cable car up. Plus, at Mutianyu you can then slide down the Great Wall of China. We thought this was a pretty unique experience that we didn't want to miss out on. Overall, we really enjoyed our experience, and by setting off from Beijing at 7 AM, we ensured we were the first ones there around 8:39. And even if it was a Chinese public holiday, we were able to enjoy our visit at the Mutianyu section of the Great Wall without the crowds. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it answered any questions you might have about planning a trip to the Great Wall of China. If you did enjoy it, just like and comment. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe and come back next week for the last video in the China series. Thank you, bye!